Over 30,000 Australians became prisoners of war, and over two-thirds were taken prisoner by the Japanese in Southeast Asia at the beginning of 1942. Changi served as the headquarters for prisoners of war in Singapore during Japanese occupation, with 15,000 Australian prisoners housed in Serulang barracks. The barracks' interiors were overcrowded and hot, with many Australians living outside. In Burma, the living conditions were worse. When the monsoonal rains arrived in June 1943, clothes rotted, shoes fell apart and latrines overflowed, bringing filth to the surface and spilling it into the makeshift shelters of the prisoners. Flies and maggots bred on the rotting bodies of the dead and diseased. Australian prisoners had to endure temperatures of above 30 degrees and work in 70 to 90% humidity along with constant monsoonal rain. Malaria took its toll on prisoners, with many prisoners suffering from violent attacks of shivering, hallucinations, diarrhea and headaches. Cuts, wounds and ulcers would develop into gangrene, leading to certain death. There were no bandages or medicine to clean these wounds. Prisoners would use a spoon to scrape out the pus and bleed the infection out. Of the 12,000 Australian prisoners in Burma, 2,646 died of starvation, disease, exhaustion and brutality.
Food in Changi included a week's supply of 750 grams of rice, 100 grams of meat, and meager amounts of vegetables for each prisoner. However, the Japanese began to clamp down on the health needs of the Australians, announcing that they would only provide rice. In Burma, Australian prisoners survived on rice and whatever protein that they could find. Boxed meat was given out, but most of it was rotten and covered with flies. As a result, most men lost 1/3 of their body weight and slowly starved to death. Prisoners who attempted to escape were executed in the prison camp. When the construction of the railway between Burma and Thailand took place, Australian prisoners were forced to work 10 to 12-hour shifts in the hot Burma sun of 30-degree heat. Many weren't given tools and worked without shoes or clothing, other than underpants or handmade loincloths. Many of them were beaten by the guards with shovels and crowbars. They were hit in the groin, on ulcers and wounds, and even on broken bones. After beaten, some guards forced the prisoners to stand at attention for several hours, even days, where they would also be abused.